This is the first assignment in the Blender 2.80 course, and it is the fridge magnet as shown in the PowerPoint pictures. The main points in this assignment are snapping and using the edit mode scaling to get stuff flattened out. So let's start. Whenever you do something like this, it's usually a good idea to go into the top view with your numpad key 7, and then when you have this thing selected, you can then change the form of it by making it maybe 6 units. No, that's not even enough. 8 units long. That's 8 units. And why not make it 10 units long? And it's also slightly thick, so I will make it 1 unit thick. And now when you go back to your top view, you can see that it looks nice. Now, this thing here, your 3D cursor, is the place where all new items will appear. So if you want to get into the same place where you have this one, the good idea to do it is by Shift-S'ing and bringing the cursor to selected. The number here is a quick key, so if you hit Shift-S and then numpad 2, you get the cursor to selected. And the next object that I add will appear here. So I will make it the torus, Shift-A, Mesh, and torus. Now it's small in relation to your other object, so you can make it bigger by increasing this and also by increasing the minor radius so that you get it to look as close as possible to your the model that you're trying to make. And with the major segments and minor segments, you can make it appear coarse or fine. And also the minor segments go the other way. Now, usually you want to be careful with the number of vertices, because the more you do this, the more vertices you'll wind up with. But for the purposes of this presentation, it doesn't really matter how many you have. So maybe it's now okay. You can go out of here, and then when you now scale it, it will go up and down, basically like this. The whole thing goes up and down in size. So now we have the 2 parts, but of course they are not aligned the way they are in the picture. First of all, this is a full torus. It looks like a donut, but you want the bottom to be flat. The way to do that is by going into edit mode and selecting the lowest set of vertices by alt-clicking on it. If you click too close to a vertical loop ring, you will have this selected, and this is not what you want, so you have to go back here and be close to a horizontal edge so that you get this done. And now when you use the Control and the numpad key plus, you can select vertices very easily. And the numpad minus will then take them, not like this, deselect them. So let's make it a few pluses. Because now when you go and into your side view, like for example 3, and say Shift S for scale, Z for the axis on which you want to scale, and 0, you will see that all of your selected vertices are now level. And now you can bring this up by saying G and Z so that it goes up and it looks nice. Oh, you see the problem there? I should have taken one more of these edge loops, already vertex loops, but I didn't, so I'll just go. I can't go this far because this would show not nicely. I have to go back and G on the Z axis and just leave it there. Doesn't actually matter. But just to show you the other way of doing this stuff, you can go, I'll go back into the situation where I have no roundness yet. Okay. And I will now hide this bar because I don't need it right now. I can hide it from here. Actually, I'll call it a bar as well, because if I add another cube, it would be cube 001, and it would be hard to understand which one is which. So I'll just call it bar and hide it using this hide in viewport. It is still there, don't worry, but you just can't see it. Okay, now if you are in edit mode and you want to select all of those flat part vertices, you go into the side view, and then you try to, with the B for box selection tool, you want to select everything, and now it looks nice, doesn't it? Yes, it looks nice, but you are not getting all of these vertices, and this is a problem. So when you want to select something, I'll go back to the side view. If you want to select something all across the object, you need to go into X-ray view, and now with the box selection tool, you can get all of those selected. And with that selection done, all you need to do is to say S for scale, Z for the axis, and 0 for the Z value. Now all of those vertices have the same Z value, and you can move them with the GZ command so that you have it a nice half torus. I have to say that in Blender you have millions of ways of doing millions of things, so this is just one of the ideas that you can use to get this thing done, but it actually works, so it doesn't matter. Now I will bring back the bar, and I'll call this the ring. And now I'll move this up slightly, G, Z, and move. If I don't say Z, I'm going to move. If I just say G for transform, I have no control where it goes. So 95% of the time, if you are in a user perspective, lock the axis by selecting it first. Doesn't matter if you are in the top view. Then you can't make it move in the Z direction. You can make it move in the X and the Y directions, but not in the Z. And the same goes if you're in a side view. You can move it in the Z direction and in the X direction, but not in the Y direction. So in a way that is safer, but it's not a bad idea to always lock the axis by G, Z, because it's that easy. Okay, now I have two nice parts, and I can go to the viewport shading. My computer is running rather slow, but now I can see the parts. I won't do the materials just yet. I'll just go back to my solid view. And now I want to add some text to the scene. The easiest way to do that is to go here and select the top face, take the edit mode, face selection tool, select this top face, and snap the cursor to it. Because now when you add a text, Shift A and text. Wow, I lost it. I wasn't in object mode. Shift A and text, it appears here on top of the object here. And if I now move the object origin to the geometry of the text and then snap it to the cursor by selection to cursor, my text is in the middle of the box. When I have a text object selected, I can do this. I have a tab here for the texts, and in here you can do all kinds of things. You can change the font. Actually, the basic font that we're using here is going to be just fine. You don't have to do that. But if you click here and you go into your fonts directory, you can pick any font in your system. The one thing that you need to do is the geometry, because the geometry means that your flat text is going to be turned into a real object with a 3D feel to it. You don't need that much of that. Maybe 0.15 would be fine. And now when you go into edit mode with the tab key, get back from there and turn on. Wow, I got an error message. I have no idea why. But I will say mind the gap. And then I can move it on the G on the x-axis and scale it up. I'll do the object into the origin to geometry again, because now I can snap it back to select the cursor is right in the right place. So I will snap selection to cursor, and now it looks Actually, it looks rather nice. You don't have to worry about it being here inside the other part. That doesn't make any difference. Just move it up slightly so that it looks nice. Okay, and all that remains now is to do the colors for these parts. So this ring here, now this the torus, is going to be red, and because these are just colors, you don't have to do anything else except go into material, new material, and call it red. And then go into your base color and pull it down to the red part and slightly darker like so. And now when you go into your shaded views, you can see the color like so. Okay, this part is going to be blue, so I have a material here called blue. Do the same thing for that. It's a nice blue color, it's slightly darker than that. Somewhere in there, I guess. If you want to, you can pick the hex code from here and use the exact hex color. This is 030003B, and this is B10010, but I really won't be looking into that. The text needs to be white, so you give it a white color with the new material. Call it white. As the base color shows already, give it a really bright white. Okay. So this is okay, and now you go and you say Shift S for cursor to world origin because you want to add a plane. Shift A, mesh, plane, scale it up 1000 times or so, and give it some color. It doesn't matter what the color is, I'll just make it slightly green so that it's like different from the others. And now you can go into your camera view and see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, the fix for that is the view, lock camera to view, and now you can come out with the mouse key, with the center mouse button, and if you have your material render engines Eevee, it's faster. Just hit F12, and hey presto, you have the actual thing. Now you can see here that we still have you can still see the vertices here. There's a couple of ways of fixing that. One of them is by making the scene flat, the coloring flat, shading flat. Sorry, you make it smooth by going Object, Shade Smooth, and Shade Flat is how it is actually. Shade Smooth could actually do the trick for you here. Hit F12 again, and we should have a nice flat. Yes, we do. The other way to do this is by not going Shade Smooth, but Shade Flat, and then adding a modifier to this, but you are going to wind up with a million vertices if this is what you do. Down here you can see the number of vertices at any given time. So if I now go into my, currently I have 2800, 2900 vertices in the whole setup. If I go in here and I say subdue is a surface, I go up to 7,700 vertices already. If I go into two sets of these, I wind up with 28,000. So this is 10 times the vertices, and the net effect is exactly the same as just changing the shading. So using these modifiers when they are not necessary is not a good idea. But also, if you don't apply this modifier, it will not change your mesh. Only when you go and apply, you can't do that anymore. See how many vertices there are now? All of these are single vertices. If I go and apply, and I go back here, I mean, this is tenfold. And having more vertices means that editing is a lot harder than what it was. So let's not do that. Control Z out of there. And well, that's basically it. All you have to do is to hit F12. And if you want to adjust the lighting, fine. If you want to adjust the floor, that's fine as well. But just send me back a couple of renders from this work and the blend file in case I need it. Put them both in a zip file and return them into Moodle as task 1. Thanks for watching.